a man must elevate himself by his own mind, not degrade himself. The mind is the friend of the conditioned soul and his enemy as well. So we are reaching very close to the new year. In few hours, we are going to enter into the new year, 2022. And when we are entering, it's not just a physical phenomena. We are entering into the new year with great hopes, great aspirations, great desires. We want to conquer the world. We want to roam around the world. We want to achieve great heights, success. We want to be the number one in the class or in the company. Or we want to do something different from others. We want to excel in our life. These are the ambitions. These are the aspirations. And we are hoping that the new year is going to bring us opportunities, going to bring us great chance so that we can fulfill our desires. And that's how we are all here praying to the Lord, and we want to enter into the new year in a more spiritual way or in a more Krishna conscious way. And particularly India is now bubbling with opportunities. India is one of the major economies of the world today. India is a big brand, and that itself is giving us a lot of opportunities. And recently one Indian has become the CEO of the Twitter. Wow, that throws up a many more aspirations. He is not the first one. We already know there are many Indians already sitting as many tech CEOs. And in one sense, they are ruling the world, the tech world. Right? So, it's a lot of excitement, opportunities. So, somebody has analyzed why Indians are reaching to that level. Why is it that they are able to make it up to the top post in these companies? Even founders are not there as CEOs or chairman. Now, recently, Satya Nadella has become the chairman. So, even the founders are not part of the top management. How is it that the Indians are able to make it? So, this, they're analyzing. And they figured out that, of course, compared to other Asian countries, Indians are quite good in English. That is a small thing. But one interesting thing that they found is, these Indian CEOs are quite humble. That's all the secret. They're a little humbler than the founder and the guys who their concept, their vision has been built up into an organization. And whereas the Indian CEOs, humble means ready to accept mistakes, ready to say sorry, and then ready to listen to others. And let us say you took a decision and there is some feedback, ready to change the decision. That kind of a mentality, that kind of a culture is there in these Indian CEOs. And then they were analyzing why they are humble like this. Of course, in India, the kind of competition the kind of chaos that we have. Everybody knows how to manage. They can adjust. They decide to go this way, and then something suddenly comes up, and then they understand, okay, chalo, take a different route. It became ingrained into them to remain humble like that. But don't think to reach the top slot, it is a kind of a cakewalk. They really worked hard, and there is a certain discipline and internal commitment is required to reach such levels. Unless they are disciplined, they can prioritize, it is not possible to achieve the bigger positions and the bigger things in life. Particularly, they have to prioritize the professional life vis-a-vis the personal life, and then ensure that they're very committed to the vision of the company. So that they have exhibited, and that's how they are able to reach to that level. And the internal commitment and discipline doesn't come automatically. Nor is it limited to only some few individuals in the world. No, anybody can learn this. Disciplining the mind, disciplining our life, they're all connected, interrelated. Now, how do we ensure that our mind helps us in this journey of our growth, journey of our transformation? We want to utilize our mental powers to achieve our ambitions in life. So the key is given here in Bhagavad Gita. It says, a man must elevate himself by his own mind, not degrade. And then the verse says that the mind can be a friend or can be an enemy. No, here is the secret. Mind is a very powerful machine. It's a machine, a very powerful machine which generates thousands of thoughts a day. And every thought is like a raw material using which you can build good foundations and skyscrapers and then elevate yourself. Every thought is like a raw material. It's like a brick. The way the brick is concrete, something tangible and material, similarly the thoughts which are coming in our minds, don't think they're accidental. They are not, something frivolous. Each one is like a brick. So now if we can pile up all these bricks together, then yes, we can build a very strong foundation for our lives. We can even build big skyscrapers. That's what Krishna is saying in the Bhagavad Gita 6th chapter. He is saying mind can be your friend, a mind can be your enemy. How is it that it is a friend? See, mind, as I said, it builds up. Brick by brick, it builds up. Some things it builds up. If it is building up something negative, then it becomes enemy. If it is building up something very positive, then it is our friend. A positive mind means you will feel lot of encouragement from within. Negative mind means, let us say you built up a lot of negativity, you feel a lot of resistance from within. For example, say anger, a negative force, and that is not accidental, we have built it up. Brick by brick, thought by thought, we have built it up. This is technically called in Bhagavad Gita as contemplation. Dhyayato Vishayan Pumsaha. Dhyayataha means contemplation. Contemplation means the same subject, same thought you're building up, you're contemplating this way, that way. For example, when you see a new model, a mobile or a bike, what goes on in our mind is called contemplation. You will be thinking, I can use this like this, I can use this like this, I can have selfie like this, I can have a photo with my friends like this. You're contemplating. Now that contemplation, if it is negative, say anger, you are developing resentment about somebody, about management, about some other person, whatever, I'm just saying, then it is building up the resentment. It becomes a negative force. Or one more common phenomena in the classroom is, or in the college, is that there is a envy. Our own classmate is progressing much faster than us, then it creates a kind of, it's called matsarata, intolerance to others' growth. We're intolerant. Others' growth. So that becomes one more force. So Lord is saying, it's up to you. Whether you want to make the mind as your friend, or whether you want to make your mind as an enemy, it's up to you. You can choose. So, if we can somehow ensure that the mind helps us build a wonderful environment inside, then such a powerful force is helping us on a day-to-day basis. As I said, mind generates a lot of thoughts, approximately around 80,000 thoughts a day. And the research has found out that about 95% of those thoughts are negative. What passes through in our mind, such amounts of negativity we are handling. So that's why it is highly important, if we want to enter into this new year and hoping that our aspirations and ambitions will find a place, it will not happen automatically. It has to, it involves a transformation in us. Let us say our thinking patterns remain same. We cannot be a different person. It is very natural, we all know. Input, output. As long as the input is same, output will remain the same. With the same patterns ringing in our ears or going on in our mind, we can't be a super duper personality just because one calendar year has changed. It will not happen. So that's why we need to change the quality of thoughts. The input has to be changed. If we can change the input, that means you have access to some finer aspects of knowledge. We have access to some wise thoughts. We have access to some good wisdom. Then, yes, we can change the input and we can change. Obviously, we will be a transformed personality. Now, where do I get this, different kind of thoughts? Where can I get? Actually, this is our contribution to the world. In the form of Bhagavad Gita, India's contribution is that it has made this ancient thought, the ancient wisdom, available to the entire world. For example, whatever we are learning today, we may be compiling into, say, some manuals and some kind of guides and this and that, which are available for future generations. The thoughts of this society, the thoughts of this civilization will be made available to the next generations. But imagine we have such an ancient wisdom, those thoughts are available in the form of Bhagavad Gita, and that will transform our lives. Now, you may say, okay, what kind of a thought will really transform my life? So I'll just tell you the context of Bhagavad Gita quickly so that you understand what a transformation possible by Bhagavad Gita. Now, the Bhagavad Gita is spoken in the battle of Kurukshetra. Both the sides are already assembled, the Kauravas, the Pandavas. They are ready to fight. It's like Indian army and Pakistan army are already assembled. They are ready to fight. And on the Indian side there is Arjuna. And he is saying, no, I don't want to fight. It is that serious. Krishna is there, and Arjuna, he was the number one warrior. Pandavas are completely dependent on him. He has all the skills, all kinds of weapons, all vyuhas means strategies. A very experienced general, military commander. And then he already battled a lot of fights. Already, he has experience of that also. With Kauravas also he had battles. So that's the position of Arjuna. This is something not, it's nothing new for him. Although he was such an accomplished warrior, as soon as he came to the battle, and then when he looked at the army, what went inside is some kind of an emotional upheaval. And then he came to the emotional breakdown, and then he just sat down, kept aside his weapons, and he told Krishna, I will not be able to fight. I want to run away from this place. I want to go to some forest. Better I will beg and live than to fight here. Sometimes we also feel, no, better go back to house, go back to our village. And because the pressure is so much, chalo bhai, will run away from here. But Krishna not agreed. He said, no, you are a commander. Your duty is to stand and fight. You do that. And then Arjuna is giving a lot of ideas why we should not fight. He is giving a lot of excuses. He is saying, no, I don't want to fight. That means that he is at a certain thought level. Some thought process is going on in Arjuna at a certain level. And based on that, he has come to some decision. Better I will not fight and go back to village. This is what his conclusion is. Then Krishna spoke Bhagavad Gita. Bhagavad Gita is actually a conversation between Krishna and Arjuna. That time the language was in Sanskrit. So in Sanskrit they had this conversation, it's called Samvada. And Bhagavat refers to Krishna. Bhagavat, Bhagavan. Actually, Vedic literatures very systematically they give the idea of what God. God means who? Who is God? Who is Bhagavan? There is one Parashara Muni. He scientifically analyzes how to identify God. He says God should be all attractive. Very simple. One simple definition he says, God must be all attractive. Then he goes on to further analyze what makes a person attractive. Because God must be all attractive. Okay, fine. Now how do I recognize, whether he is attractive or not? What makes a person attractive? Actually, we are all interested in that. How to be attractive, right? So, the first thing that makes a person attractive is beauty. If somebody is beautiful, obviously we'll all get attracted. There are heroes, there are heroines, we get attracted. And then the second one is, if somebody is very wealthy, very attractive. Right? If Reliance Ambani walks in here, nobody will look at me. I will become like this. He's very attractive. And then power. Power attracts. Prime Minister, Chief Minister, or the President of America, which is the #1 country in the world, very attractive. He comes in his own exclusive flight, one or something, some name is there, and then like that becomes very attractive. That is power. And then knowledge. If somebody is very knowledgeable, lot of wisdom is there, he also becomes very attractive. He may not be very good looking, but then he has knowledge, he becomes attractive. For example, in our class, if somebody was, in terms of the marks, let us say he is #1. Whenever he is passing by, his topper will recognize. That means our attention is going, is attractive. So that is knowledge. And then strength, the physical strength, that attracts. If somebody has a lot of strength, 6 packs or 8 packs, maybe 10 packs, it attracts. And then final one is renunciation. If somebody renounces, for example, we are attractive to a certain extent. So, if one personality has all these opulences, all these attractive features in full, he is called God. This is the technical definition of God. So, Krishna, he has all these 6 opulences, Shadaishwarya Purna, that's why he is known as Bhagavan. And that Bhagavan spoke in nice Sanskrit. It's called Anustup Chandas. He spoke such a nice way. It looks like a song, it looks like so nice to hear. Gita, it looks like a Gita. So that's why it is called Bhagavad Gita. This is what has. So now, when Arjuna was on that emotional breakdown, he has a certain thought process. Krishna elevated it. He brought in a different thought process. Just 700 shlokas only in Bhagavad Gita. Mostly it happened around 30 to 40 minutes, the whole conversation. At the end, Arjuna stands up, takes his weapons, confident, finishes up the opposite party, becomes victorious. What is that Krishna has done in these 30 minutes? That is what Bhagavad Gita is. If you want to transform, get access to that thought. Mind requires this food, mind and intelligence. You are all intelligent boys coming from good educational backgrounds. Apply all your intelligence on Bhagavad Gita. Intelligence means, the key element of intelligence means clarity. If somebody has clarity on a subject, he is intelligent. Now, if you want clarity in your life on various aspects, what are these stars, what are these planets, who is God, why there are so many religions, why this fighting, gurus, and then we see what is this climate, what is this time, if you want clarity, there is only one book that we need to read, and that is this Bhagavad Gita as it is. So I wish all the best to all of you on the occasion of this new year. And if you want to really change, transform yourself, make your mind a great friend of you, and that is possible by reading Bhagavad Gita as it is. Thank you so much. Hare Krishna.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Satyagaur Prabhu. That was really inspirational. And I really liked when Prabhu said, the mind is both our friend and an enemy. And we have to gradually train our mind to make it our friend. Right? So, in spite of his busy schedule, Prabhu has, graced this occasion. He has shared his valuable knowledge with all of us. So